3 true scary stories which will send shivers down your spine. Number 1. I never thought much about the old voicemail feature on my phone until I noticed I had one saved that I didn't remember listening to because it wasn't marked as new and the timestamp said it had been opened weeks ago. Curious, I played it, expecting spam or a wrong number. But all I heard at first was silence, the kind that feels too full, like someone is still there on the other end. I was about to delete it when a faint sound came through, something like breathing, slow and uneven, followed by a voice that sounded exactly like mine. It wasn't saying anything clearly at first, just whispering in a way I couldn't make out, until I turned the volume all the way up and listened closer. That's when I realized I wasn't hearing random words. I was hearing a conversation. My voice was responding to someone, answering questions, reacting like I was scared, but I couldn't hear the other person at all. Only my replies echoing back at me. I checked the date again, thinking maybe it was old, maybe I had recorded something and forgotten, but the timestamp wasn't from the past. It was from later that night, and the last thing on the voicemail was me whispering, "I think it knows I'm number 2. I started noticing something strange about my reflection a few weeks ago, but it was subtle enough that I kept brushing it off, because every now and then when I walked past a mirror, it felt like I moved a fraction of a second before it did. At first, I told myself it was just my eyes playing tricks on me, maybe a delay in how my brain processed movement, so I ignored it and carried on like normal. But one night, while brushing my teeth, I decided to watch carefully, focusing on every movement just to prove there was nothing wrong. For a while, everything matched perfectly, every tilt of my head, every blink, completely in sync, and I almost laughed at myself for overthinking it. Then I stopped moving. I stood completely still, staring straight into the mirror, waiting, and after a few seconds, my reflection smiled. Not a big smile, just a slow, quiet one that didn't belong there. I didn't move, I didn't breathe, I just stared, trying to process what I was seeing, until it finally returned to normal, like nothing had happened. I haven't looked into that mirror since, but sometimes when I walk past it, I can still see it watching me, even when I'm not facing it. Number 3. I installed a security camera in my hallway after I kept waking up to my bedroom door slightly open, because every night I was sure I closed it all the way, yet somehow by morning, there would always be a small gap like someone had pushed it. At first I thought it had to be a draft or maybe the latch wasn't catching properly. So I set up the camera facing the door, just to prove to myself nothing was happening. The first night, nothing unusual showed up, just hours of empty footage and me opening the door in the morning like normal. But on the second night, at exactly 2:43 a.m., the camera recorded something that didn't make sense, because the door didn't slowly creak open like I expected. It jerked slightly, like the handle had been tested from the other side. I replayed it over and over, trying to convince myself I was misinterpreting it, until I noticed something I hadn't seen the first time. Right before the handle moved, there was a shadow under the door. Not a passing shadow, not something outside, but one that slowly darkened the gap at the bottom, like someone had walked up and was standing right there. I checked the rest of the footage, expecting to see it leave at some point, but it never did. The shadow stayed there for the rest of the night. And the worst part is, when I woke up that morning, the door wasn't open anymore. It was closed tighter than I'd ever shut it.